little guy. Hi. How you doing?
Welcome to another fishing episode of No Boat, No Problem. They say the early bird gets the worm. Well, the early angler gets the big bass. I started fishing right at sunrise when our local lakes are open to the public, and all I've got to say is, wow. We'd been having drought conditions along with unseasonably high temperatures in the 90s for the end of September. It was already the first full day of autumn, but somebody didn't give summer the memo. Forecasts were again going to be in the mid-90s, so I decided to go fishing early in the morning when it's more comfortable for both fish and angler alike. Oftentimes, the fishing shuts down quite a bit when temperatures get this high, so the fish were trying to maximize their feeding during the coolest part of the day, the morning. That's why the fish were biting so aggressively on this white skirt with silver willow blade booyah spinnerbait. The water conditions were glass calm, as you can see. The willow-bladed spinnerbait was catching enough light to catch the fish's attention, but more importantly, the vibration of the willow blade is more subtle than a wider Colorado blade. In such calm waters, it's sometimes better to have a slightly quieter sounding bait than the big thumping blade of a Colorado. I also had live bait with me that morning. I was using medium-sized golden roaches suspended under a bobber and occasionally free swimming as well. If you recall in the episode The 1-2 Punch, I employed a similar tactic to both catch largemouth and northern pike. Using the live bait on one rod and a lure on the other, I was able to maximize my chances of catching both the aggressive bass and the more passive ones. Switching back to a spinnerbait this time, I was throwing a chartreuse lure, and this particular bass was more than happy to hit that color as well. Only spinnerbaits produced as far as lures went. I tried a chatterbait, buzzbait, crankbait, and even a popper. The popper only produced a half-hearted attempt by a fish, and the louder bladed baits did nothing at all. The crankbait also didn't have any love for the bass, so as long as I was throwing a spinnerbait, it didn't seem to matter what the color was. As you can see in this shot, the sun was already above the horizon. As a result, the temperatures were beginning to heat up. The lure bite had already stopped, but the bass still had a little bit more appetite left in them for some golden roach minnows. The last fish of the day also hit one of those golden roach minnows, and she was a nice hog. By now, the temperatures were already getting oppressively hot, and it was time to call it a day. From about 6:45 to 9 o'clock in the morning, I caught 8 largemouth on spinnerbaits and minnows. It's definitely worth setting your alarm clock for an early wake-up call to catch hungry, aggressive fish. When it's this warm, evening bites aren't always as good because by then maximum heating has occurred and the fish can be sluggish right on into the evening. So set those alarms for some early quality fish. That's it for this episode of No Boat, No Problem. Remember to hook into that like button, make a cast on the bell to get notified of new episodes, and share this video with all your fishing buddies. Remember, no boat, no problem.